right, so we're here with Nevada guard Jarod Lucas. Jarod, appreciate you joining us. How are you?
No, thank you. Good. It's nice to be able to get on a little interview after a win too. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, most definitely. And before we kind of dive into yesterday's career milestone, I want to first kind of go with like your background. Why don't you tell us more about like how you got to where you are today, your journey, your background, family, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, my dad coaches high school basketball. He's been coaching high school basketball for, I think this is year number 30 in Hacienda Heights, California, Southern California. So I've been fortunate enough to be around a big-time basketball mind with my dad. Always having access to a gym. I've been fortunate to spend plenty of Christmases in a gym with him working me out. My mom came from an athletic family as well. My grandpa played at the U.S. Naval Academy, or Navy, and he was an All-American fullback there. So definitely have a lot of athletic lineage, and I've had a lot of fortunate people in my corner that have helped me out throughout the process.
Yeah, most definitely. For yourself, did you play any other sports besides basketball?
Yeah, I played basketball, football, baseball. I think I played pretty much everything you could play. My dad had me signed up for everything.
Awesome. And what kind of made you fall in love with basketball?
I think since my dad was a high school coach, I've been involved and been around the game for such a long time. It kind of made it, I wouldn't even call it a transition. I always tell people ever since the womb, I was in my mom's womb, I've been playing basketball. So it's been something I fell in love with.
For sure. So you were at Oregon State in the first few years, and then you found a home at Nevada. Take us back to why you chose the Wolfpack back in 2022. What was the right fit? Why was it the right fit?
Yeah, I know that, playing at Oregon State, I got the opportunity to play in the Pac-12, which was great. And when I first hit the portal, I was, obviously really unsure about what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to go somewhere and still establish myself as a scorer and have a big-time role like I did at Oregon State. And at Oregon State, being the leading scorer that I wanted to go somewhere and be another leading scorer, and have a big-time opportunity. So I knew that at the University of Nevada, I could have fill a big void because they had just lost Grant Sherfield, Desmond Cambridge, both went to the portal, two big scorers. There was a void, and I knew I had an opportunity to do it. So it made it pretty easy. And then Coach offered when he was at UCLA, being a Southern California kid, some of his assistants recruited me a little bit. So I knew that I had a decent opportunity to come and play in Nevada just because of the previous relationship that I had with Coach Alford.
Yes, definitely. And congrats yesterday on that 2K milestone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. How does it feel? What does it mean to you to kind of achieve that feat?
I was talking with my parents about it yesterday, and I kind of got a little emotional too, just because it's a lot of work that not only I put in, but my parents, all the sacrifices they made. A lot of early mornings, dropping me off at the 24-hour fitness in Puente Hills, dropping me off my trainer Owen Simplest throughout high school in downtown LA. My dad opened up the gym for me early mornings in high school. So, it's incredibly awesome to do it, and to do it in a program that I'm very fortunate to be at in Nevada with Coach Neal, creating plenty of opportunities for me on the offensive end, and then Coach Alford did a great job freeing me up as well.
Most definitely. And you're also one of the top free throw shooters in the country. What's kind of your shooting routine, and how do you kind of get in the zone when you're at the line?
Coach brings it up a lot, but it's the ultimate confidence, I like to call it. And one thing I do before I finish every workout is I finish every workout with 25 made free throws in a row. Throughout my career, I used to do 10 because I saw Jason Tatum said he used to finish his workouts with 10. And I knew that I wanted to do something different and to get to a different level. Like this year, I wanted to get to the 90% range, which I'm at right now. And I knew that I wanted to do something different, which was make 25 free throws in a row to end my workout. So that's been my regimen. I consistently do it. Our GAs can tell you, anytime I end a workout, it's 25 made free throws.
Awesome. Who do you model your game after or try to study?
It's a little different, but Trae Young is one of my favorite players to watch. He's been one of my favorite players to watch throughout my career. And JJ Redick, if I had to say there's a player that I feel like an NBA comparison, I feel like me and JJ Redick got a lot of similarities with his ability to be really quick, getting his feet in the right spots, coming off of down screens, curls, and even getting to the paint sometimes. I feel like that's the aspect of my game I haven't really shown too much this year.
Right. In what areas do you feel like you impact winning? Obviously, you guys are a winning program and everything.
I think my leadership, that's the first and foremost. I've learned from plenty of really good leaders throughout my career, and I've known that to get to the level that I want to get to, I got to be a good leader. And I also know that I think my shooting is my number one trait, and scoring the ball. I think a lot of times it kind of gets overlooked, my ability to score the ball or shoot. Oftentimes people can label me as a shooter. I'm not the biggest fan of being a shooter label. I think I'm a really good scorer.
For sure. And you mentioned yourself as a leader. What's kind of like your leadership style? Like, how do you like to lead?
I think first and foremost, I got to give a shout out to my guy Ethan Thompson at Oregon State. When he was there my first 2 years, and I learned so many things from Ethan with his ability to lead. But I think number one is never really screaming at your teammates. I've always found that that's not the way to do it. Obviously, there's times where you got to get on your teammates, but first you got to establish trust with your teammates. So that's one thing I always try. And I know that even in the preseason leading up to the year, I always do my best to take guys out to eat, do little things, invite them over to my house, and still to this day to watch conference games. Some of the guys come over to my house to watch some games. So I think one, establishing trust with your teammates to be able to get on them in the right way. And once again, I think that not always getting on your teammates and loud mouthing them is the best idea. So I come to them in the right way, in a way that they'll understand and respect me.
Right. And rewinding a little bit back earlier in your career, you were on Compton Magic. There's the Mobley brothers. You played with them. You played with Neko Kongwu. What was that experience like being part of Compton Magic?
It taught me early how to understand a role before even going to college. So a lot of guys don't get that. In high school you're the best player, and just like me at my high school I was the best player. And then I was fortunate enough to be on a team where I got to understand a role, and I got to be around some really good players. Now when you look back at it, our starting five on that Compton Magic team was Onyeka Okongwu, Isaiah Mobley, Evan Mobley, Johnny Juzang, and myself. And off the bench you had Jalen Clark. So you got 5 guys in the NBA right now. It's kind of crazy.
Most definitely. And speaking about your role, how do you kind of see your role at the next level?
Well, one, I think I can affect winning in several ways. I think this year my defense has gotten better. I felt over my career it hasn't been the best or up to my capabilities. But I think I did a really good job getting in shape this year to be able to be on both sides of the ball. And I think my ability to score is going to obviously be an impact right away. But I also think my leadership, once again, I'm a good locker room guy. I'm somebody that cares about my teammates, care about the coaching staff, and I think there's plenty of ways that I can contribute.
For sure. Well, let's end with these rapid fire questions. I want to continue to get to know you off the court. We'll start with this one. Biggest interest outside of basketball? Any unique hobbies? What do you like to do during your spare time?
For me, I've always been interested in golfing, just as of late. So.
Okay, for sure. What's your best score?
My best score I have, and I've only been to the driving range. I've heard about Coach, but I'm really competitive, and Coach has been telling me I got to get my golf game right. So this summer is going to be my next time I'm going to get on the course with him, hopefully. But I've only been to the range, worked on it a little bit. So.
Awesome. Favorite music artist?
I have to say Lil Baby, but I'm also a big-time Morgan Wallen fan. So.
Favorite snack?
Favorite snack, I would have to say any type of Mexican candy. I'm a big fan. Mexican candy, I love all that stuff. Chamoy, all that.
So if you're stuck forever on a deserted island, but we give you food, water, and shelter, we have all of that, what are 3 personal items you bring to the island? It could be a person as well.
Okay, I think I'd bring Snooky Wigington for my team. Snook knows a lot about a lot of random stuff, so I'd take Snook. And then I also think I'd take my phone if that's an option, because I feel like a phone could always do you well. And then I think, honestly, I think the more people the better. You got more people to talk to, so I'd bring my dad.
For sure. And you have one hashtag to describe yourself. What is it?
Hashtag bucket.
If you weren't pursuing a career as a professional hooper, professional basketball player, what do you think you'd choose to do as an alternative career?
I've always thought that I'm pretty smart. My mom may not agree, but I really do think sometimes something involved with business. I've started to become really interested over the past couple of years in some of that stuff. If not, basketball coach too, if we want to stay with basketball.
Awesome. Who's someone you really look up to as a role model?
My dad. My dad's a high school basketball coach. He's the one who's kind of opened the doors for me playing the game of basketball. Being my high school coach and being a dad was never easy for both of us, but he was able to kind of make a difference between being a dad, being a high school coach, and he's done a tremendous job also being a high school coach as well. So that's a guy I'd look forward to try to be like him one day.
Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve, I think I'm big on germs. So people that don't wash their hands. I learned that from my grandma. So you talk to all my teammates. Germs are number one.
Sure. Introvert or extrovert?
I'd say extrovert. I'd say I think I'm extrovert.
Awesome. And last couple here, obviously I have to talk about Reno a bit. So favorite food place in Reno?
Oh.
Good places you like to eat?
That's a great question. Cielto Lindo, Mexican food, if we're trying to get quick food. If we're not, Nevada Steakhouse, really good place. Both those two are two of my favorites.
Awesome. And most memorable moment off the court at Nevada during these last few games?
Most memorable court. Off the court. Wow, that's a tough one. Puts me on the spot right there. Honestly, I might say all the people that come up to me in Reno. I've met plenty of great people off the court, all the interactions that I have, and I might say just the way people treat me out here, it's been tremendous. I've never had an issue, so I love it out here.
Well, this has been awesome, Jarod. Let's end with this last question. So it's at the end of the day, what do you hope to be remembered for as a player and as a person?
As a player, I hope to be somebody who has the label of being a scorer, but also a really good teammate. Like I said, I learned from several great leaders throughout my career, but I want to be somebody that's respected by all of his teammates, because I know that's never easy to do, especially as you get to college. A lot of guys have egos, so to be able to be respected by all my teammates would be great. And as a person, I want to be the best son that I could be with my parents, and then somebody that's a man full of faith. So I think that'd be the two big things.